Here I am now 15 years later. I have 9 official world records in World Ultra Cyclist Association. One of the worst things you can do in terms of accelerating aging is live a stressful life. You really become what you think. If I see myself as functional, if I see myself as strong, I tend to be strong. I tend to be functional. I mean, there's so many evidence that it's actually never too late. You can build muscle, you can build aerobic function, and you can always progress from the situation you are in.
Welcome back to another episode of Limitless. Today I'm very, very excited because we have a world record breaker with us. Someone who's joining us all the way from Sweden. Jonas Bohr, he's the founder of Cellier and Cellier. And he's going to talk about athletic performance and healthy aging. Jonas, a true pleasure to have you with us. How are you today?
Thank you, Nick. It's great having me. Thank you for that. Well, I'm really good. It's one of the first spring days here in Stockholm. It's been terrible cold here in February, but I was visiting in Thailand, and I met you in Phuket in January. So I missed those. I missed that climate. But now it's getting better every day here in Sweden now. So looking forward to spring.
That's excellent to hear. I can see even the room looks bright, and it's not only snow, but you have some sun there.
No, it's actually sunny today, and I'm gonna go out on my bike later after lunch here. So it's still morning here.
Fantastic, and I cannot wait to see your bike ride uploaded. I've been following you on Strava for a few years, and truly I'm inspired of you, Jonas. But perhaps some of the listeners haven't met you yet, so let's start there. Can you just give a brief introduction of yourself to the listeners, please?
Yeah, sure. I just make a quick overview. I'm Jonas Bohr. I'm an entrepreneur from Sweden, married with 3 daughters. They're grown up now, but so everything goes a bit too fast. But I'm turning 60 this year, and I'm a late starting athlete. So I was in the finance business. I ran some business in a fund commissioner firm and worked with investments for like 30 years. But like 15 years ago, I started to commuting with my bike to work from suburban Stockholm, where we live. And I was sort of like catched with the feeling on the bike, and I started biking more and more. And then it's getting more serious, and I developed some skills, and I saw that I had some potential here. And then I started this journey to sort of find out where is the limit, how fast can I be on the bike. And here I am now 15 years later. I have 9 official world records in World Ultra Cyclist Association, and I have my specialty is for a bit longer events, like from 100 kilometers up to 200 miles. I have those 9 world records, both on the outside road and outside track. And this summer in June, I'm planning to do a very, very special event. It's called the Hour Record, and maybe the most prestigious endurance record there is. And it's 1 hour on the track in indoor velodrome to see how far can you go in 1 hour. And since I'm turning 60 this year, I think hopefully I have a potential to break the men's 60 category. And I also will attend 100 kilometers. So I will do 2 record attempts. So 100 kilometers, I hope to break the all-over record. So it's a very tough ambition.
Wow, it sounds very, very exciting, Jonas. So 9 world records already and going for a few more in June. Very, very inspiring. And I know that you are on a mission as a cyclist and an entrepreneur to really prove that it's never too late to start growing young. And maybe you can elaborate on that. What do you mean with that?
Yeah, sure. Like 10 years ago, I started this ambition to see if I can be sort of like maybe one of the best in the world in my age category. I learned a lot about training, of course, and nutrition and everything involved in human physiology, etc. And I also read a book actually called Growing Young, and it was written by an American doctor. And he sort of like breaks down what is aging. Aging isn't a simple cause; it's a serious effect of many things gradually decreasing in our bodies. So, what could you do to sort of like delay this process and maybe in best case, some case reverse some of those effects? So actually growing younger in the body. So I started adopting his philosophies. Basics is just common sense. Basic is eat healthy food, fresh food, no junk food and no processed food as little as possible. Sleep good, move a lot, and stay with people that you get inspired from, and so your family and friends. So you must have a meaning in your life, and if you have this positive attitude. So if you just have these basic principles in good place, and don't stress, of course, that's maybe one of the worst thing you can do in terms of accelerating aging is live a stressful life. So, but then I added some micronutrients, ingredients for prolonging our mitochondrial health or cellular health. So there's a lot of actually natural ingredients that can increase our restoration of the cells and to improve cognition, improve energy, improve cleaning of the cells, etc. And those ingredients was written about in this book. So I got this idea and contacted this doctor, and we learned to know each other. And we actually started this company together, and we started with a supplement that carries like 6-7 ingredients that we think is helping the body to improve mitochondrial health and cognitive function and energy, etc. So we started this company in 2017. It's called Selexir, and we've been active since then. And a couple of years ago, I also started business in the US called Cell Yeah, like hell yeah, the phrase, but instead cell. So cellyeah.com, and basic idea is the same: to introduce healthy nutritions, micronutrients, and nutraceuticals. So it's very exciting. So I've sort of like used my own body as a sort of guinea pig to see if this can help me. And actually, I think I have some good credential with my results. It definitely hasn't made me weaker. So I'm in generally very good health, and I have been also sort of like capable to manage this sometimes a bit heavy training load.
Yeah, and a bit heavy training load, says world record holder Jonas. For that, for most people, that will be perhaps what they train in a year. You will go do in a week, or maybe even a lifetime for others. But how do you recover then? Age 60, I'm 50 myself, so you are true inspiration for me because you really give me hope, and for the listeners as well. How can we recover when we are 60, when we are training at the level you are?
Yeah, of course. I mean, we all age, even I, though I hate to admit it. But I hope I can do it in a slower pace than most. And I mean, it's not rocket science. You need good sleep. You need good nutrition, healthy proteins, carbs, and fat, and then low stress in your life. I think that's nothing more than that. And also, of course, the volume, it's very important that you adapt volume slowly so you don't push yourself too hard. And nowadays there are numbers of I mean, a lot of people, I have my Aura ring, but it's on the charge now. So I can track my heart rate variability. I can track my pulse. I can see various numbers, and I can manage and adopt a training regime a bit after that. But at the same time, it's extremely crucial, I think, to don't get slave under the numbers. So I go by heart. I'm self-learned, and I don't follow a training regime. I go hard when my body likes to do that. I take it slower when my body likes to do that. So I listen a lot on the daily sort of like temperament in my body. So because if you have a training regime, and a lot of people get stressed because today it's hard intervals, so it will crush me, etc. Or the opposite. Today I'm super strong, but my program says only Zone 2. That's boring.
And if we're looking then at mindset, Jonas, how important is that, would you say, in endurance performance when we are 60 years of age?
I think it's absolutely dominating and crucial. I mean, basically, you've heard the word epigenetics. Epigenetics is sort of like the science that you can actually turn off and on DNA structures in your body, and you can turn on genes, and you can turn off genes that express different development, both good and bad. And a lot of those epigenetic switches, I think, are linked to what you really think and how you see on yourself and your life and your performance. So I actually live after the thesis that you really become what you think. And if I see myself in progress, if I see myself as able, if I see myself as functional, if I see myself as strong, I tend to be strong. I tend to be functional. I tend to cycle faster. If I see myself as old and grumpy, I tend to be old and grumpy. My wife says to me, Jonas, don't be such an old grumpy man. And that's a good reminder when you are in the wrong sort of like mental mind. So I think it's absolutely key. You become what you think.
Yeah, and there might be some listeners who feel that, I'm too old for that. It's too late to start that again. Or what would you say to those listeners who might be, at 50, 60 or even 70 who's listening?
Yeah, it's a good question. But I mean, there's so many evidence that it's actually never too late. And just the phrase "it's never too late" has been sort of like my brand the last 10 years. And if you look at if you look at an 80-year-old today, or even 90, if they start to go to the gym, they will experience great progress. You can build muscle, you can build aerobic function, no matter how late in life you are. So it's actually never too late. And you can always progress from the situation you are in. And then not everyone needs to break world records. Most people will live a very functional and healthy life just to start moving. But I think muscular performance is key when you get older. I think you need to do some strength training. Doesn't have to be with weights. You can do it with your body. But strength training and medium to light aerobic training is sort of like the basic principle of medicine for most. And I think also one thing that is, I can see for myself, that's usually on the bike, that you tend to lose speed and strength and fastness in the muscle fibers. So I started to do a lot of jump training, a lot of acceleration at the gym, or just jumping, standing lung jumps, box jumps, etc. And I think this has helped me immensely the last year, because when I started doing this, I mean, I couldn't lift like 10 centimeters from the ground, but now I can jump like 40 centimeters. So when you get this, you need to get some pressure on your bones, because when you grow older, you get your bone density decreases.
Yeah, and I was just going to ask you, Jonas, if you are 80 years of age, let's play it forward 20 years from now, what would you thank yourself for what you're doing today?
I think all those hours with aerobic training really delays aging, and there's so many research studies about that the brain function, cognitive function, improves immensely by aerobic training. So I would probably thank myself for being this active between year 40 to 70, 80, hopefully.
Yeah. And I can really hear your excitement around this, and I follow you on social media for a few years as well. And I really can feel your positive energy around it. It seems like you are living your purpose and you have that meaning there. How important is that for you, Jonas, that you have some deeper meaning, like we are trying here to prove that it's never too late to start growing young? How much important is that in this story?
Yeah, it's a good question. Is where comes my motivation and ambition from? Is it just from the questions that I asked myself like 15 years ago? How fast can I be? Well, that's one major thing. I sort of like lived after this now after 15 years. I'm no addict. I like to go out with friends. I like to have a good beer and occasionally a couple of glasses of wine, etc. But so I'm definitely not a training junkie. And in hours, I don't train more than a standard triathlete like yourself, because I only do cycling. I don't need to do the running and swimming. But also what maybe has given me motivation and ambition is also that a lot of people actually follows my journey and see me as some kind of, I mean, they like the idea of someone proving that it's actually is never too late, and you can produce good numbers, you can produce good speed up at age. And when I rode my 200-mile record summer 24, I rode like 44 kilometers an hour for 7 hours 20 minutes, and that's even compared to world-class triathletes, that's an absolute top speed for they do 180k. I did almost a double. So it is possible to go fast even when you're older, and that is, of course, I'm happy to be proving in some way this.
Yeah, and I think it's the inspiration that many of the listeners need now, because, in my work, Jonas, when I work with teams and leaders, and I typically look at a self-assessment on all the areas of their life, and when it comes to business and career, that's the smallest gap because they focused on that, but health has the biggest gap. So that tells that many are selling themselves, their health, at the price of building up a career. And what kind of
for me, I see. I'm an entrepreneur. I have 4 businesses, so there's a lot of things going on. But I see my life as I'm part entrepreneur, I'm part athlete, and I'm part family man. And you need to find the balance here between all of those. And I'm lucky enough to don't have to stay at an actual office like 8 to 5. I can structure my day. I can go out on a sunny day and ride my bike. And for me, that is absolutely essential, because everything is coming down to joy. And if you don't have the joy there, you will not produce any good result, no matter what the area is, if it's family or work or athletic performance.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jonas, for sharing everything with us today on the show here at the Limitless podcast. Any last message or anything you want to share with the listeners, or anything I forgot to ask you before we let you go?
No, I think we covered the most crucial, and of course the basic message is it's never too late. Start move, start sleeping more hours, start eating better food, and enjoy your friends and family with a good positive attitude. And you actually become what you think. So if you put your mind into it, and if you like the idea, you're gonna reach far better result than if you're in doubt or hesitating.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jonas, for sharing with us today about athletic performance and healthy aging. Thanks also to all the listeners, and bye for now.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.